Yep.
Hang on. There we go. You alright? Can I
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
you?
Yeah, can you hear
It's
me?
better.
What's going on?
Let me just try this quickly. Try talking now.
Hello?
Yep. Yeah, keep talking and then I'll see if I can get you on.
Alright, I mean, you sound a little muffled now with whatever you did. But
Ah, fuck it.
either way.
Alright. Is
Alright,
that
now,
better?
yeah, that's better. So what's
Cool.
going on?
Sunday, got a cup of tea.
Sounds
Doing,
good.
doing the podcast, Elon Musk style. Got my cup ready.
You know, that's great. I got this new weed vaporizer thing. It's weird.
I don't
It
like vaping the weed. I tried it.
I,
The
I
vape I
just
had was shit.
I just have it so I can sort of do it out and about incognito, like if I'm like out hiking or sometimes if I'm at work, which I didn't say
Yeah,
that. You didn't hear that. No one heard that.
no, that's fine. But you're better off making your liquid out your weed. Better off doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's me. It's not very difficult to do.
yeah.
Take you half an hour. Give you something to do.
I just don't have the space to do it. I can't be doing it in my house with all the kids here.
No, you just do it over the stove with just hot water.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. I can't be doing it in a house with like 5 kids running around though. I'd
Yeah,
have
that'd be
to
right.
if I was here when they're at school maybe, but
That'd be right.
either way. So what's
Either
going
way,
what's going on
I,
news-wise you
I
want to cover?
actually, I don't know. It's a bit shitty, so I'm gonna drag it out like personal stuff, man. Just drag it out a bit. I've got nothing. I managed to score a decent job there.
That's good. Doing what?
Yeah, it's for like a really large. He gives fuck. No, not gonna say. It's for CRX, no, Eurex.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the computer company.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
that's cool.
I don't really know what I do. I think I just answer. I think they like just have engineers like fix photocopiers and stuff.
Mhm.
So I guess the engineer goes around there and it's still fucked. I have to pick up the phone and find out why it's still fucked, and that's it.
Nice.
But it's just down the road. Like I can walk there, which is amazing. I can walk there in 8 minutes.
That's always nice. My
It's
one
so
job
cool.
is like that, where it's like no,
Yeah.
it's so close. No matter how late I'm running, I always leave and I always end up on time.
Yeah, it's so cool not having to travel to work, man. Because you can be pissed off before you've even started. You
Yeah.
can be in a bad mood before the day's even started, man. You know, and it's quite a nice building too.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's pretty quiet. So yeah, hopefully I won't fuck it up and it'll be good. It's got no expenses getting there, so just a nice 9 till 5, man.
Nice.
I think I need it. I think I'm doing good. Like I'm getting a little bit bored.
What
So
was
yeah.
the thing you had tried hitting me up about during the week, saying something where
Oh
we're
yeah, I
already doing
wanted.
it?
Oh yeah. I was watching this kid on YouTube and he live streams. He just like smokes weed all the time in the UK.
Uh-huh.
But the amount of donations he gets is fucking phenomenal. And it's just off a couple of like you'll be surprised who watches YouTube, like just rich kids with rich parents. They send him so much money. And he used this thing called Steam Labs. So Steam Labs means that if you send a donation, your comment like appears on the live stream.
Oh yeah.
Probably seen it. Or you could like play a song in the background. And I would just like maybe like to give it a go, but I couldn't set it up. So I've got my live stream on YouTube, and then I've got like a Steam Labs going.
Yeah, I'll
I
have to
think you'll
check that
be
out.
surprised how much people make.
Yeah.
I reckon I was thinking we could do that, but I couldn't set it up, and I was hoping you would.
Yeah. I'll look
And then
into it.
if we tested it and it worked, and it's pretty cool, we could like do it as regularly as we can. Just talk about anything really on video, both on video, smoking, weed, talking. And yeah, and just try and get a community kind of thing going, actually pay attention to the chat that's coming in. I think the live thing's really cool.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised how lonely people are. Like,
I've
This
been
guy gets loads of. He's got a massive community. He just sits in his crack house bedroom, just making weed. And people send him like, he gets a couple of $100 a day.
I've been trying to do more live streaming stuff, but I've been using Mixer, which is Microsoft's platform. But the only reason I've been using that is it's integrated into everything already. Like, it's integrated into the Windows systems and Xbox and everything like that.
Would you be up for switching to Streamlabs and then teach me how you did it? Because there's a couple of questions I want help setting it up myself.
Yeah, sure.
I know you're pretty good at doing it.
I'll check it out once we're done doing this.
Yeah, and then what I was going to offer is if we do it a couple of times in a month or something, and we've got like a community going, depending on whether I can set, because I mean, I'll talk to you privately, like my setup might be a bit annoying. I could just buy you like a little shitty Dell for like $100, $200, and then just have remote access on it.
Mm-hmm.
And just set it up just purely for Streamlabs.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll figure that all out. Like you said, we can talk privately about all that tech
Yeah, but I think
stuff.
Streamlabs, I really want to go that way, and I need help with it too, if you don't mind help.
Okay.
I couldn't figure it out, like I'm just dumb, perhaps. I thought it'd be really easy, but
Yeah.
I've got so many questions and stuff.
I mean, I have a friend who's more aware of all that techie kind of broadcasting stuff. I know there's a handful of like broadcasting softwares and everything. He broadcasts on Twitch, so if I have problems, I could even ask him.
Yeah, a lot of Twitch. It's mainly on. Yeah, that's the thing. I think Streamlabs was Twitch, and now they've moved it to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I like live stuff. I find it really addicting, even if the guy's like a complete dick.
Mm-hmm.
I just fucking find it addictive.
So,
Right.
news stuff. I think we should talk about the continuing depersoning of Alex Jones. Have you seen any of the Have you seen any of the clips of what's been going on at Congress and everything like that?
Oh man, that's why I love Alex Jones, man. It's moments like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be the viral video of 2018, man.
I mean, I'll tell you what.
That is video of the year. And then in second place, guess who's at second place? Video of the year. Alex Jones again, same day.
Yeah, right?
And then in third place, it's Alex Jones again. God bless Alex Jones. Man.
Yeah.
Even my mum saw it and she was like, I like Alex Jones now.
Well, and that's the thing these people don't realize. I think I mentioned this before. I had a older liberal in my job, and I was talking to this guy about them banning Alex Jones off all the platforms, and this woman even said, who you know would not be a standard Alex Jones listener or supporter, she said, if they are taking him off of every platform, he must be saying something important that's a threat to the power structure. And that's the thing. These leftists always look at things in terms of power dynamics. So if they see someone being removed by all of these corporations, which leftists are against, these super big corporations and monopolies, if they see someone being oppressed by the power structure, they assume they are a threat to the power structure. So that they don't realize they're selling Alex Jones to the people they think are their supporters.
They have hit him pretty hard though, because I'm in the Alex Jones cult, and it's a lot harder to watch him. Just because of the way, obviously, YouTube works, when you can just have like the 20-minute videos, or people upload the show and you know it's labelled properly, you know what guests are on, and someone's go, oh, Gaffin's on, I'll definitely watch it, or Stefan's on, I'll definitely watch it. Because I only watch it if there's like normally like a good guest on, or something, or some big news is going on. But yeah, I'm finding myself watching it less, to be honest, and it's because it's so fucking annoying.
Yeah. I mean, but despite watching it less, I ordered,
It's pretty scary though, because everyone does get their news on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
I'm still supporting. I ordered the bone broth this week. I haven't tried it out yet. I was going to on air, but I didn't have enough milk, so... We're going.
That's the sort of stuff you need Streamlabs for, man. That's what I'm talking about. And we look like we need money. Do you know what I mean? People will watch us and go, "Fuck, those dudes need money." Anyway.
What else was the other thing that's real interesting? I was trying to watch the the Supreme Court nomination stuff, but the clips of Kamala Harris and Cory Booker are kind of going viral. But I mean, it's fucking insufferable. There is not a like I thought Hillary Clinton made me cringe. Kamala Harris is the most cringy, smug, obnoxious politician I've ever seen, ever. Like, there's this one part where she's, like, going to the Supreme Court nominee, Kavanaugh, being like, have you ever had a conversation about the Russian investigation and Bob Mueller with anyone that works at this, Heinowitz, whatever law firm? And he's like, huh? Have I ever talked to anyone about one of the biggest news stories that's going on? Like, I need a list of who works there. And she's, like, refusing to give him any sort of leeway. She's just sort of insinuating that he's done something wrong by talking about something to someone. And, like, it's so ridiculous. Like, it's nothing but this gotcha kind of grandstanding. And even Cory Booker saying, I'm doing something illegal right now by revealing this information. This is my I am Spartacus moment. I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something bad. And it's like, no, that information was released yesterday morning. You're trying to make yourself look like you're doing something outstanding when you're just being a schmuck. You're being a super schmuck. Both of them. And they say they're probably going to be Democrat nominees for 2020. Which, I don't know if you can see, but my hat, I'm rocking a Trump 2020 hat.
No, you need to hook me up with one of them.
I actually got those bumper stickers and a giant Trump 2020 flag. It was all like $2 on a Wish. This website. I'll send you a link. I don't know where half my bumper stickers went, though. I only got like 3 of them right now. Good. I'm going to go around to all the Democrat, the lawn signs that say, like, vote for this Democrat, and I'm just going to pop the Trump 2020 stickers on them.
I mean, in England, no one really gives a fuck about what you're talking. Like, to be honest, like, no one's even following it. Like, I have no idea who these people are. I've got to be honest. I can't give you any input. It's like just whooshing over my head. Because I guess if you walk around England and just ask anybody who's what's going on with the midterms, the first answer you get is what the fuck midterms, what?
Yeah.
And then after that, if you said, who's in the midterms, they'd just be like, Trump.
Yeah, and not at all. It's
just Trump. Yeah, it's just Trump.
Although it's interesting, I don't know if you saw Obama came out of his hole.
It was a good comedy sketch. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I mean, him basically saying...
It was good.
Him saying everything that he said was impossible during his presidency that happened. Yeah. Now it's all because of his doing. Even though when he was in office, it was the impossible.
Yeah. Well, the economy's gone up because I made it go up.
Yeah.
It's not going up, but it is going up. It's going up because I made it go up.
Yeah, you're right. He said it's not any better, but it is better, and it's better because of what I did. Yeah. You're right. It makes no sense.
It's some of the best stand-up I've ever seen, and people are like, "Yay, Obama! Yay, woo, woo, woo."
Yeah, it's and you know what the thing is too is like I had said like when I was watching it, I was like, I can't believe I voted for him, but then I remembered the first time when he first came out, he wasn't that smug.
That's when I was debunking Alex Jones at times when Obama was first running. I was like, how racist can Alex Jones get?
Yeah, and then it's like, once he got into office, he just became so smug and arrogant, and he's been that way ever since.
Have you seen that stuff about Michael Robinson? That story won't go away. That's been coming up a lot in my feed.
Michael Robinson? No, I don't know what you're talking about.
You know who Michael Robinson is?
Do I?
Obama's boyfriend.
No. I'm going to have to look that up.
LeBron Robinson?
Is it football player?
Football player, yeah. Just type in Michael LeBron. I'm sure it's something like that. Just type in Michelle Obama and then Michael Robinson and some crazy stuff come up. It's a dude, man.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, the Michael being the original name for Michelle.
Yeah, there's some more photos came out and stuff from like when he was at school or she was at school, and baby photos from the. It's just weird.
Hmm.
It's just weird. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I don't know, but it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
I'm buying that because it fits my
No,
genre.
I definitely think she's a he.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
Trying to think. Oh, you know what else is interesting? I don't know if you follow this at all. I saw in the headlines today, Mac Miller, the rapper, passed away. Now, Mac Miller is
Don't even know who he is, man.
he's most known for a feature on a Ariana Grande song. Now, the day he died just happens to be an Illuminati sacrifice day. And the majority of the news stories about this aren't even focusing on Mac Miller, his death, and what he's done. It's focusing on Ariana Grande. So my belief is, because this is how these sacrifices work, is that he was sacrificed to her. Like, her new album probably wasn't doing that great, so they have her sacrifice him for the attention, the publicity, and, everything like that.
Probably the first thing the Illuminati's done that I think. Yeah, well done.
Huh?
No, I'm joking. Probably the first thing the Illuminati's ever done, I think. That's not so bad. But no, I'm joking. Obviously, you shouldn't go around murdering rappers.
So,
But
yeah, that's my theory.
wow.
Mac Miller was sacrificed for Ariana Grande's success.
Well,
And he was her ex, but I think she dated him at some point, too. So it was like one of her exes.
I don't even know who. The only reason I know that girl is because of that Manchester bombing. That's the only thing I know. It was her concert.
Yeah. But I mean, you're familiar with the idea that, the Illuminati has them sacrifice someone.
I know
to...
someone that was at the Whitney Houston when it went down.
Really?
Someone that was. Yeah, I've told you that story 100 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must have told you that story at least 200
Yeah,
times.
no, now that you say it, I remember.
That story is 100. She would not lie. She couldn't lie if she wanted to. Yeah, and she's quite a tough lady, and she was freaked out, man.
Mm-hmm.
The Elon Musk thing was very weird. Did you watch it?
No, I haven't watched the full podcast yet.
What's weird about it is Elon seemed to have handlers.
What do you mean?
Well, Joe kept bringing it up because he had people behind him, like sort of like nodding and shaking their heads about stuff he couldn't say if they approved or not approved. And Joe was going, "Oh, these aren't your friends." Then, since he had a toke on the awkward toke on the joint, his phone went ballistic, and he was going, "As people were telling me I shouldn't have done that."
Huh. Wow.
I just thought conspiracy YouTubers would have gone, "See, they do have handlers."
Yeah. I mean,
I felt sorry for Elon in the internet. I thought he is fucking crazy.
honestly, for a while, I mean, Elon, for a while, his whole fortune was being based out of like government money and DARPA funding and stuff like that. So I mean,
Yeah, and now that's all plummeted, and I guess he wanted to buy it back anyway, didn't he?
yeah.
So all this stock is now plummeted, and he's just going to buy it back cheap, I guess.
But it wouldn't surprise me then, if
There's been lots of stock plummets, like Elon Musk stock plummeted, and you could say that was on purpose because he's going to buy it back. Nike have done it.
yeah.
You think maybe they'll just buy their stock back because it'll blow over. Levi's.
Yeah, and Twitter's stock is plummeting, but for different reasons, for their actions and stuff.
Because yeah, they don't put an advert like that out without full plan and an acknowledgement of what they're going to do. And that reminds me, like, there's this guy who's running for UKIP. I'm disappointed in myself really because I've not really been following Brexit at all, so I don't even know who's like the lead campaign for Brexit. So I started checking this guy out, and his dad wrote books about blood. It was called Blood on the Streets: How to Make Money Out of Chaos, kind of thing. Like, I'm paraphrasing, but that's the title of the book. So I started to get really skeptical about this Brexit guy. His dad went to Bilderberg once in '93 and was like really heavily with the BBC. His name's Jacob Rees. I don't know if you want to check him out. Jacob Rees-Mogg. And I just thought, did you see Tommy Robinson made that video demanding that UKIP let him in?
No.
Yeah. Did that Saturday night or Friday night. I told you that was going to happen, didn't I?
Yeah. Jacob Rees, R-I-I-S. Is that how it's spelled?
Jacob R-E-E-S, I think.
Uh-huh. Okay, yeah. Double E-S.
Don't really know what to make of that guy.
Yeah, I saw an interesting interview though with Katie Hopkins talking to some
Yeah, she's my favorite, man.
some guy about his campaign against Brexit.
Oh, yeah.
And he basically puts forth this premise that, you know, in 5 years or whatever, enough people that voted Brexit will be dead that we shouldn't even bother doing it because in the future people would have voted Remain. And it's like, what? And Katie Hopkins tries asking him, she's like, so are you saying that younger people should have more democracy than older people? It was a really odd interview. I watched a few clips of hers. There's one of her sitting down talking to a Muslim man that was a really good clip. Because, you know, he's putting forth certain cultural points, but I mean they're really meeting in the middle with a lot of issues and stuff.
Yeah, I would sound like I've fallen out with people that I was like hanging around with because they're Remainers. I honestly haven't heard one coherent argument come out of any of them. I don't know if I'm just blind to what they're saying, but I've spent hours listening to them. And I can't come up. The only thing I get is some of them have got like European friends, and they seem to think they're just going to all get deported, like rounded up and deported. And it's like,
why?
Yeah.
Like that, yeah, that's such an odd view.
It's like they're just going to have to pay like 60 quid for an application, hand in your driving license, do a criminal record check, and just like they just want to know how long you've been in the country and where you live. Sounds pretty easy. But really, but then they try and do it on a virtue signaling point of view, like we need to do it for our friends. It's like, but if you do that on a larger scale, if you think that the EU is going to, that you want to stay in for the freedom of travel, what about people that don't live in the EU? Think about all the hurdles they've got to jump through.
Yeah.
The best thing we can do is have the same system for what we have for someone coming in from India. That seems fair. Just have the same system for everyone.
Yeah. Speaking of
Does that make sense? So why are you so worried
completely.
about what would happen to your European friends when we obviously have people coming in from people outside the EU?
One of the
Does that
things
make sense? Like you should be able to resolve that in your own head. Like if you just think about it for 3 minutes, EU isn't the only migrants coming here. So obviously we've got rules set up for someone that comes in from China, America. So surely at worst case scenario, it'll just go to that.
Yeah. Go to that
Seems
model.
pretty fucking like. Why are we spending 3 hours debating what's going to happen to your wife? I want to deport both of you now. And you're British.
And
you're
you know,
illegally. I want to deport you because you're just dumb.
The other argument I keep hearing, which I really don't understand, is the one about trade agreements, where they're like, "Well, we're gonna have to make our own trade agreements with all these other countries and stuff," and it's
but
like,
that's just
and?
like, yeah, that's what they. Yeah, I get that a lot. They go, "Well, we need the single market." So it's like, so if you want to buy a used car, like you want to buy a new car, imagine if there's just one car make. And it's just one car lot you go to, are you going to get a good deal? Or do you want lots of good car companies and then they compete with each other? And then you've got choice. And they're like, well, obviously I want choice. So then you don't believe in a single market then, do you?
Yeah.
And the other thing with the single markets, they have tariffs to stop other trade, to make their trade look better. So all you're doing is just putting, and then just if you go to basics, like these people, like if you just hit people with basics of basics, like the most basic thing I can give you is, we'll call the guy's name Bob. I'll go, Bob, how do you feel about government being, like, it's corruption, right? The bigger the government, the bigger the corruption, the more power. You want as little power as possible so you can at least try and keep a grip on it, right? It's going to cause all governments corrupt. So it's going, well, then why would you want the EU? You want Britain to make all their laws, vote for the people that we want to vote for. At least, I know it's still out of control, but at least it's on a smaller island.
Yeah.
Why do you want to expand government so much when that's against what your core belief is? And they're going, well, my friend will get deported. I was like, I just fucking give up now. They'll never, that's the thing with Remainers, when I ask them stuff, they always go to their problems. They never address, and I'm really patient and I come up with enough of, just try and make it as simple as I can for them. And just stuff like, they get really pissed off, like this is when they want to beat me up. It's when you say stuff like, okay, you want to be part of the EU, and they go, yeah. And you go, okay, who is it that I'm voting for? And they go, what do you mean? You go, well, just name me, I'll give you a clue, one of the presidents of the EU. There's more than one. Like, do you even know how many there are? And they're like, they have to Google it. And they don't believe that there's more than one at first. You can see that look on their face, there can't be more than one president. I was like, that's what I mean. You don't even know who it is you want me to vote for. You don't even know their names. Surely that should tell you everything about the EU.
Yeah.
And what else do you need to know? You don't know who they are. That's my whole point. You can't get rid of them once they're in there, unaccountable.
Well, I think they just sort of...
How can you not understand the Brexit argument? I really...
Yeah.
Because I respect you guys. Like, are you just dumb?
It's just this sort of like appeal to experts and stuff, where it's like, oh, well, we're just bringing in the experts from every European country, so it must work out. It must be good.
No, but I don't know if it's just because they went to uni and they can't figure out that the uni teacher is paid by the government. So the government's going to be pro-EU, because it's like Stefan Molyneux's always said, like, EU is socialism.
Yeah.
So if you've been to uni, I reckon you've had it drilled into you, like, really hard about how important the European Union is. I think you've been brainwashed, dude. Because they always send me to university lectures. I'm like, that is fucking crazy. Can't you even figure that out? Like, do you know how much funding European gives these universities? And then the guy works for this group, and that group is a Bilderberg member. It's like a foundation, like we'll call it John Smith Foundation. And you Google John Smith Foundation, for example, and it's like Bilderberg. And they go, Bilderberg's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. It's like, no, they created the euro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not much of a conspiracy anymore. It's kind of out in the open. Like,
I just don't get it. Like, how do I communicate with these people? Like, are my arguments dumb? Like, are you getting it? Or, I mean...
No, I don't understand it. And that's, I think, you'd be hard-pressed to find Americans who think the idea of, like, an EU or something like that would be a good idea. Like, because the first thing we would think would be, like, we don't want Trudeau running America. Right.
And what are we going to do as collectivism? What do we do? I know it's like a long shot, but what if France starts a war they can't finish? Like, we're in that war now, thanks France.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have a European army and stuff. Like, we need to control our own army, guys. We've already lost control of it. It's like, and then you just ask them straight, like, you guys are fucking hardcore commies, aren't you? And they'll be like, fuck. And that's what it comes down to, man. It really does. And then that's when they get offended.
Yeah. Once you realize their actual game plan.
I didn't think communism was real.
Speaking of,
so many youngsters are really pro-communism, man. A lot of youngsters in England are pro-communism, man.
Over here too, I got into an argument this week with a socialist, and
I just didn't believe it.
it was that no true socialist fallacy, where it's like, well, the Nazis weren't really socialist, but Russia, that was socialist, but that's not the socialism I like. I said, so where is the socialism you like? Well, they haven't done it yet. I said, oh, okay, all right. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't even know why I engage with these people. And the worst part is I don't consider myself an elitist, but after talking to socialists and communists and everything like that, I feel like an elitist because I'm like, I don't want anything to do with these peasants. But anyway, I was going to say, when we were talking about communists, right next to my job at the restaurant, there was a
Stalin statue erected.
No, it was the a climate rally type thing, and
same thing.
Yeah, a whole bunch of watermelons, green on the outside, red on the inside.
Oh, God.
Yeah, just insufferable people.
The only other stuff that's been going on is obviously London's still a bloodbath. They think there's news reports now that London police have just lost control. So obviously they want funding.
Mm-hmm.
Funding. It's like everyone's like, just fuck off, man. Like you're not even dealing with the crime that's happening. Or you're on about having more money. You gotta be kidding us. So they are losing control of London quickly. Sweden's got the election today. And it looks like it's going to be what they call, I mean, I don't know too much about it, but it's what the press would call right when they're going to just storm it. Everyone calls me right wing now that don't know me that well, just reading my Facebook page. It's like, I'm not right wing, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I've always, even though I thought I was always like, not a complete anarchist, but bring government down just to its bare minimum.
Me too. Me too. Because when people ask me, are you a Republican? Are you right wing? I'm like,
no. I don't even like Trump that much, to be honest with you.
I say if I had to put a label on it, I said I'm a libertarian. I just think government should be as small as possible, but I can't identify with the Libertarian Party. Now, I at least, though, my pragmatic self, I have always told people, because I have friends that are, it's all an illusion, government isn't even real, this and that, and I'm like, the cops can fucking arrest you, that seems pretty real to me. Like, yeah. You can't get into this, we're abandoning the way society is structured and then going into some metaphysical, spiritual, type nonsense. But I've said,
Dude, Mad Max doesn't look that bad.
I at least realize in order to get to the, this tyranny didn't come overnight. Like, it was spoon-fed to us to the point where people, it's the frog in the boiling water idea, basically. And I realize that you need to kind of do the same thing in order to fix all of this, though. So we will need to go Republican to sort of slowly shrink down the size of the government. Is there some of it that you could probably just cut overnight and stuff? Yeah, probably. But I think in order for it to be most beneficial and easy for the people without there being a large reaction or pushback, it's got to kind of be a slowly dismantling the government and shrinking it down.
I think that's what they're going to do in Europe. Like, I think they're going to pull the switch, like preppers always in America. I just think it would be easy just to pull the switch. Now, when we've got all these Islamists and foreigners here, they drink camel piss, dude.
Yeah.
And shit like that. That's why they've got these people here. They really have got savages here, maybe, because they're going to bring savage times.
You know,
it wouldn't take much to everyone does rely on the supermarket. There are a couple of supermarkets.
You know what I thought was interesting? I was talking to a friend this morning and about Obama and him talking about how he bailed out the banks and stuff. And the one thing they said, now this person, used to be a Bernie supporter, but now they're a Trump supporter and are far more right-leaning, anti-SJW. I mean, they used to help with the safe space on their campus for, like, LGBTQ stuff, and now they're just, complete switch aligned with my politics. Anyway, the question they asked, though, as far as bailing out the banks, what else was Obama supposed to do? And it's, that's the thing where I'm saying you're going to need like a slow spoon feeding, because people don't even have like it in their heads that it's like, we could have just let these banks gone under. We could have reset our currency. We could have fixed everything out of that crisis. And
I would have said?
Instead, all they did was buy themselves time. Like, the currency is going to collapse. We just have more time
before,
now.
Like, Kennedy
Iceland.
About having the greenback.
Yeah. Iceland jailed the bankers. Like,
England did it after the war. We had the Bradbury pound to rebuild because we had so much debt from war that we brought out our own currency for a while. It was called the Bradbury pound. Did you know that when Benjamin Franklin released his coins, they used to say on them, "Mind your own business"?
No.
Instead of saying "In God we trust," the Franklin coins used to say "Mind your own business."
That's great. He sounds like my kind of guy.
Check that out on Google, just because it's like, I didn't believe it, but then I looked, I was like, Benjamin Franklin.
I think this is all a good segue though into the one video you had sent to me, which I had already saw and loved, but I also want to bring up. Have you seen the Owen Benjamin Shylock Holmes skit?
No, but the one I nearly cried watching was the Zombies and Magic.
Yeah.
That magic is real, that words influence people and turn them into zombies.
Yeah, I thought
communists kicking dead bodies.
I thought it sounded like a podcast you and me would have had.
Yeah.
Like, he is amazing right now. But he did this really funny skit called Shylock Holmes, and it's basically him as Sherlock Holmes. His wife is there saying like a crime happened to her, and he's like, I can tell everything about you, from the scrape on your knee, that your favorite shirt is blue, that you once held a baby in the corner of, Franklin Street, blah, blah, blah. He said, but the one thing I can never figure out, the Jews, the Federal Reserve, they print money, the money has no value, but yet the Jews make us think it does. He says, diamonds are just carbon. We can make them in a laboratory. But yet the Jews make us think they are valuable. Like, and he does it in a way where it's like, you can tell he's not being anti-Semitic. He's talking about the Rothschilds and stuff like that. He's right.
It's a club and you guys aren't in it. Sorry.
He's right. Yeah. And and I think it's important too to remember, like Owen Benjamin said in his one podcast where he's calling people out, and I guess him and Joe Rogan have made nice. But he says flat out, he says, I used to be in circles of Hollywood where Donatella Versace will be chasing someone around trying to get him to do coke with them. And, these people think Joe Rogan is nothing more than a monkey. Like, he's like,
but if my dad's side's Jewish, I don't really talk to his family that much. But everyone on my dad's side are like, kind of like, they are fucking super intelligent. Like, one of them is Hendrix's sound engineer, producer.
Mm-hmm.
Other ones is like, they're all into something like that. My dad is super smart. Jews they're articulately smart, I think is what they proved. Because different races, but the thing with Jews is they don't do well in engineering. They don't do well in physics, particularly. They don't do well. They do well in. They used to do well in
numbers.
Articulate. That's why you see them in art, film a lot. They're good at writing. Yeah, and I don't know if they're good at numbers. I just think they're smart at wording things.
Yeah. Well, lawyers too are articulate and stuff like that.
Yeah, but then you'll find that Asians are really good at more engineering kind of stuff, or Germans are.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's also, though,
it's true. Like, the Jews that were in my dad's side, there was a big contrast between my mum's side of the family and my dad's side. Like, go to a family meeting from, like, family gathering from my dad's side on rare occasions, like, everyone is like top of their field.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. The other thing is, it's a cultural thing where both Asians and Jews value education over everything else.
I don't know if I'm biased, but they're super nice.
Yeah.
Like, super nice. They don't talk about don't really talk about being Jewish. They're just super nice. But that's all gone now. Like all the London Jews are gone. It used to be quite cool. You're not the ones. You don't see anyone
Well,
with like.
even you know what I found out because
Like
it
the small
reminds me.
hat Ben Shapiro has is as extreme as it gets.
Yeah,
You don't see anyone with like the big beards and stuff
yeah.
trooping down. There's none of that
I was
anymore.
going to say, actually, it's interesting. Tomorrow's a Jewish holiday, and my one niece who goes to school on the other side of the river, she lives with her father. She has off. My niece who lives in the school district I went to, she doesn't because there's no Jews left in the school district, so they don't celebrate the Jewish holidays anymore.
Yeah, it's sad.
But yeah, back to what we were saying about Owen Benjamin and the magic thing. You know, he's definitely right as far as the words can put spells over people and convince them to do crazy
Terrible
things.
things.
And
Yeah.
he even, it's funny, him talking about zombies and everything like that, because I don't know if it's the same podcast, but he talks about vegans and stuff, and he says, their whole thing is to subjugate humans below animals. Like, they uphold the animal and the animal's right and everything like that over the human's rights. And,
You see that a lot. We talk about that a lot in England. Like we have Sky News, which is probably different to what you have. It's a different Sky News, but when you contrast the story of like someone being cruel to a dog, the outrage in the comments is non-stop. But if something tragic happens, someone, even if it's slightly stupid, like someone died on drugs, like fell off a cliff or something, they'll be like, ha ha, fuck you, ha
yeah,
ha. And it's just a contrast that people don't give it.
yeah,
Like people
they,
do care more about their pet dogs. And you see it like Lauren Southern walked around London going, would you rather have a husband or a dog? And they're like, oh, I'll have a dog.
yeah. Well, and it's funny because even after him talking about zombies and everything like that, I had this girl come into my job at the restaurant, and again, we serve good food. Anyone can find something they like to eat there, but it's always like the healthiest version of things. So it's all local, organic, grass-fed meats and all that stuff. But I had this girl come in and she just picks up the menu. She looks like she's dying, and she goes, "Vegan,
You need a biscuit, girl.
vegan."
You should get her a biscuit.
And I'm
You need
like,
a
oh
biscuit
my
quick.
god. I'm like, this
Get
girl.
her a steak.
Yeah, that's all I could think is I was like, no, burger. You need a burger. Like, yeah, it was just vegan. Like a zombie being like, brains. Like, it was ridiculous. I mean, she just looked like she was sick and.
There's talks like in England that if there's a no deal, that we're going to need army on the streets. How are these people going to cope? Like 2 or 3 days, no Waitrose, no Asda, no Sainsbury's, no Tesco. Things are going to get wild, dude. And I was talking to my mum because we've got like a posh house kind of in the middle of nowhere. Keep telling her like, Dad's really got to think about getting a firearm license because he can get one. Get yourself a shotgun license to start with.
Yeah.
And grab yourself 3 or 4 shotguns. And then once you've gone that, just join a shooting club, just sign up. And then you can get any gun you want. People don't know that in England. Like, you can get guns.
Yeah.
You just gotta, like, someone like my dad will have no problem. As long as you haven't got a criminal record, you write to the police first for a shotgun license, and the police have to object, then you're done. They got like 30 days to object, and then to get like like an MP5 kind of sport gun. That's kind of a heavy duty gun, an MP5.
Yeah.
You can get those. I know people that got them. And all they do to get them is they actually join like shooting clubs where, like Olympic people would train.
Yeah.
And they're using hardcore, what the police would use out in your area.
Yeah.
So it's like, Dad, you need to like think about this, man. He's like, oh, you're overreacting. It's like, it just takes you, it's not a big deal. You just write a letter to the cops and say, hey, I'm going to go out and buy 2 shotguns. That's the first step. You go and buy the guns. 2 shotguns is quite a big deal in England, man. Like, you could probably keep people off for a while.
Yeah. Definitely could. And the thing too
Yeah.
is like, I imagine over in England, because of the sort of anti-gun culture.
And no offense to my dad, like Like, bless him, because he wanted to look after us so well. He is not in good shape, like completely useless.
Hmm.
He can barely walk. Like, is that unhealthy? So you need a fucking gun, dude. Like, you're fucked looking
Well,
after mum. Like, mum would have to defend you.
the thing I was gonna say
So
is
mum
like,
needs a shotgun, man.
and she might even just be able to, if people were at the door or anything like that, she might able to just be let a shot off in the air and they might scurry like rats.
Yeah,
Like you
well,
might not even
shotgun
have to
license is
shoot anyone.
yeah, shotgun license is broad as well. Like, you can get like smaller rifles too.
Well,
Like,
that's
full
interesting.
on.
That's good too.
Yeah, so you can get something much smaller for the lady. And because my dad's got a great house, like you could defend it pretty well. We've got like an old like this is how crazy the house is. We had to get the kitchen refit. My dad had got into some money and he was like, "Oh, we'll refurbish the whole house." And whilst he was doing it, the builder had to like find the water source. He found like a World War II bunker, man.
Really?
Yeah, in the garden, and it's huge. It would like probably take like comfortably, like talking wartime comfortably, like 8 people, 12
Wow.
people. Yeah, I
That's
had no
nuts.
idea it's there. And we've been living there for like 25 years.
Yeah. Wow. Do
That's what
you,
I mean. It's a handy little place. It's on a hill, so you got to get up the hill, so you can barricade everything quite easily. We got cameras. Like if you come in, you're gonna get fucking shot, dude.
do you know who owned the place before you guys?
No, my dad built it. He paid a builder to build it. He bought the land. Well, it's being built, so it's like a property development.
Mm.
So he picked like top notch one.
Yeah. I'm just
But
wondering who put the bunker there.
it's crazy. Like my dad paid 80 grand for that. He worked for IBM. 80 grand, which was a big deal back then. But now
Yeah.
it's crazy money. That house, you're looking at like 700 grand.
Hmm.
That's why my dad just agrees that my generation's fucked. It's like you are never gonna get 700 grand, dude.
Yeah.
Put in the fucking house. It's never gonna happen. Do you know what sort of loan that is? What the interest would be on that on a loan?
Oh,
Just the interest.
sure it would be insane. I'm sure you'd probably paid probably at least half the amount of the price over time.
Yeah, my dad was saying 80 grand was fucking impossible, man. Because we nearly went bust at one stage. Like, even though it sounds extravagant, like we nearly lost it all. I remember that.
Hmm. Well, and that's one of the things too that Owen Benjamin, when he was talking about the idea of these things that have no value and what does, he was saying how like water, soil, things like that, like things where you could grow land and crops and everything like that. Like that's the stuff that really has value. That like you're saying, what are these people going to do if all the stuff that they think has meaning doesn't all of a sudden, and then
I
there's
really
no
think
way to get
I really
food.
think, like, I don't know if I'm crazy, but I really think like apocalyptic Mad Max times is going to hit us before 2020. I really do.
Maybe.
Because they have to pull the plug on Trump. They have to. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't. I think you're right. I don't think they can
What?
tolerate
And
him
then
having eight
put
years.
and Trump and Brexit the same thing. If you lose Trump, we lose Brexit. We could do because Trump really would do great deals with the UK and help us, and vice versa.
Yeah,
But if they put someone else in America, they could go, fuck you, get back in the EU, and everyone would be like, okay, America, okay. And you pull the plug on both sides. That's why I'm worried about Tommy Robinson and this UKIP and this Rees-Mogg guy. It's like, why isn't Lord Monckton doing it?
yeah.
Lord Monckton's your man, and Farage. Just leave it at that. Don't need Tommy Robinson, really. I like the idea of Paul Joseph Watson doing YouTube with Sargon of Akkad. Even PewDiePie, I can see him joining UKIP.
Hmm.
Because
But
he's Swedish and living in England, so that's...
I
I
didn't know
don't listen
that.
to...
I was
Yeah,
about to say I thought
he
he was
doesn't live
Swedish.
far from me.
I didn't know he was living in England though.
Yeah, he lives like a couple of towns away from me.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So that might explain a lot. And then obviously he's going to get hit by the EU meme war and stuff like that. And EU. So he might not be. Obviously, he's not going to sign up for UKIP. But don't be surprised if it's used as a, kind of like a secret weapon.
Yeah.
The whole of Europe scares me, man.
Well, and that's part of why they've got to start really censoring these social media people. You know, it's like that they started with Alex Jones. That's seeping out to everyone
Do you
attached
think
to
that's
him.
just a midterms thing?
Well, I think it's just the start of it, but it's going to lead up to 2020. So that way, by the time, you know, things do end up in shambles, you're not going to have any sort of rational voices left out there.
Because you've got this economic crisis that has to be pulled. Like, I think everyone realistically agrees that. Are they going to pull it when Trump's not running, when he's not there?
Yeah, you know, because if you think of the overall narrative, think about
And then
how
Obama
bad
will
that
be
would
there
be.
again. See, well, at least the bubble didn't burst under Obama, okay? The bubble didn't burst. And now you all turn to cannibalism, okay? Cannibalism. It's only been 3 days. Been 3 days.
Or, you know what I think they
And you
might
eat
do?
each other. Stop.
Is
Chicago, there's
well,
no one left.
The
Okay?
the same way Obama is trying to take credit for, you know, Trump turning the economy around, I think what they're going to do is they'll let it do fine under Trump, and then right as he's getting out of office and they have someone else new, then they'll pull the plug on it and they'll say that it was a result of Trump rather than who just gets
That's
in.
the other thing. Like I talk about when with Remain people, they'll go, but what about the EU laws? What about the trade? And you go, okay. What's going on in Paris? Don't be racist. Okay, we'll leave that there. What's going on in Sweden? Stop being racist. Okay, we'll leave that subject there. Germany's not. What's going? It's racist. Okay, we'll leave. Okay, Germany. What's going on in Italy? It's a bit unsettled. Okay, Greece is bust. Portugal's bust. Spain is bust. What? Like Spain? Like Sweden's doing its own Brexit. Germany's trying to do it. It's never going to happen in Germany.
Yeah, it's like if you don't leave, who's going to be left? It's going to be who's the last one at the table.
Italy did it, and then it's not happening. Catalonia tried to do it, and they beat the fuck out of them. And they weren't even trying to do it. It was just a protest vote. The vote didn't stand for anything. Look what happened. What is it you want to join?
Yeah.
Armageddon.
Yeah, and it's just
we're going to war, boys, and I don't want to be in a trench with you girls. I'm sick of you. And then they'll go, get in the ring, Paul, get in the ring. I'm like, dude, I'm here.
And it's like I said, like it's who's going to be the last one at the table? If every other country is trying to pull out.
The reason I want to cry about it is because why do you think I'm talking to these guys and risking everything? Why do you think I'm doing it, man? Why? Because I respect those guys. I think like they've got the intelligence to like go, oh fuck.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I don't know if it's ego that they have to keep holding on to crazy. It's like flat earthers. They just have to hold on to it.
Yeah.
It's like, just no. We might end up in war, guys.
And I don't know what they think they've gotten out of being in the EU that is so... I mean, the thing I was going to ask is what's being produced by these countries that the trade is such a big point, like cheese and chocolates? Like, what gets made over there? I mean, I know Germany produces a few things. Like you said, they're good at engineering type stuff. But even some of their companies like Nokia and stuff have left. Or Nokia left one of the Nordic Swedish countries or something. But still.
All we've got is like the embankment in London where because banks are regulated, no one goes to jail. You just get a fine. Mm-hmm. Other than that tiny bit where you call the big office buildings in London, there's nothing going on in England.
But I'm saying though, what's being imported in there from like France, Germany, and all those places?
Well, I don't know because it gets complicated because they get tariffs, so that means that we can't really send to other countries. It stops us from trading from outside the EU, basically.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know. I've tried talking to these people, and it ends up in them just wanting to beat me up, calling me like a Jew hater. And it's like, what is going on with you guys? And the reason I'm having this discussion with you, do you think I'd waste my time if I didn't think they were capable of just thinking things through, if I didn't have respect for them, do you think I'd even waste my time?
No.
So why am I being insulted all the fucking time? Surely it's showing respect when you're sitting down with someone trying to hammer home a point to them over and over. I know that I lose it when I do it and I need to calm down, but why do you think I'm so passionate to get it into your head?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of the whole idea when people's beliefs are challenged, they just sort of double down on things and it just starts making them look really irrational.
Like, I know you're a good person. What you're thinking is. But then they always come up to stuff saying, well, there's no such thing as that, you're just idealistic. And it's like, so? It's not an argument being idealistic. Idealistic, like try doing that in your maths test. Oh, that's too idealistic. 2 + 2 = 4. Oh, that's just idealistic. It's 5. No. Give me a fucking proper argument why you're not pissed off with what we can't control our border.
You know what I wonder though?
Can't even do that.
Now, hold
Because
on.
the EU's doing a great job. What happens when Merkel gives everyone a passport? That's what she's going to do. She's going to give everyone a fucking passport. They can just come waltzing in.
Do you
Fucked.
think whether they realize it or not is part of their argument is actually them just sort of expressing I guess you could say like an individual lack of self-responsibility, like because they're basically seeing it as, well, if we're in the EU, then we have the other people. We're in it together. Like it's a collectivist versus individualist mindset, just put towards that a viewpoint where it's like they feel like England can't do it on their own because they can't do it on their own.
It's going to be difficult to go on holiday in Spain. They have to get like a new passport.
And like
Yeah, right.
that seems so petty.
Passport will be a different colour, won't it?
Yeah. It's like
fuck my passport, dude.
yeah.
I went on holiday with my friend's passport once. Fucking hell, fuck your passport, man. No one cared I had my friend's passport. I didn't even realise.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, I think it's them sort of projecting a lack of, feeling like they could do things responsibly on their own, and they
What's
just
going to
project
happen in
it onto
2020? Is
England.
Trump going to run again? Is he really going to be bothered to run again?
Yeah.
What's the point? I can't see Trump going 2020. I can't see him doing it.
I don't know.
see
I know
why he would
he's
run.
already kind of put in the trademarks for some of the slogans and stuff like that. So I mean, there's things in place for him to do it. And it's just going to be keep America great again and stuff like that. I mean, he's out campaigning for the midterms, and it looks like the midterms are going to be they're saying now that the Trump bump is going to destroy the blue wave they thought was happening.
I just think it's going to be like a zero turnout.
For what? For Trump?
Just all round, man.
I don't know if these midterms are any indication. It's going to be a landslide. And they actually...
it would be, yeah, that's what I mean. That you can get both, if that makes sense. You can have a landslide and just a really low turnout.
That's true, too. Who was it I was listening to? I was listening to someone, though, talk about how every time a Republican wins office the first time around, they always try to blame it on something like, the George Bush and the recount, and I think there was something with Reagan beforehand too, and like the Democrats always put forth a conspiracy theory, but then the Republican president wins the second time around in a landslide and they don't say anything.
Well, what's Trump doing putting troops in Syria at the moment?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, well, fuck Trump. Like, that's the thing. That's why I worry about Trump. I do worry about. Like, I'm not happy that Trump's in, but don't get me wrong. I understand. I mean, what other option was there? Clinton. I mean,
yeah.
And the attacks on Trump are so ridiculous that you're forced to defend him. But as a whole, I'm not happy as in. He is not a good candidate for it at all. But that just shows how far things have come.
Well, and he's always been the one to say he's never wanted to do it, but
Yeah,
if he didn't
it
feel
is a
like there was
bad
anyone else,
situation. Trump is not presidential material by any stretch of the imagination.
no.
Why is he on Twitter?
I
And declaring war on North Korea is definitely a violation of Twitter rules and agreements.
I don't think he never
You
declared
should have
war
got a
on them.
12-hour calling off period.
I
He
think
has done a couple of times. It's like, fuck you, North Korea, I'm going to blow you up. Leave me alone.
but the thing is though, I mean all of that
Rocket
stuff.
Man and all this stuff.
Well, yeah, like
Jesus
I
Christ,
don't.
dude. Get off Twitter.
I don't know.
Seriously.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it if it ends up playing out to work out for him. I mean
My
that's the
predictions for
thing.
Trump, like, I know what Trump's going to do next. He needs to go, they'll just find an alternative to Twitter or YouTube, and then he's going to use that. Then that's going to force all the media
Oh,
on
they've
that
already
because
said, yeah, they've already said he Bill Whittle I think came out and said that, or Bill Mitchell, one of these podcasters has already said there's rumors that Trump is going to go over to Gab.
yeah. And then everyone else will have to move there that wants to listen to what he has to say. And that will include CNN.
Yeah.
Fucking it. And then that reminds me of this Elon Musk, this Nike stuff. Do you just think it is engineered? You know? Pump and dump Twitter, pump and dump YouTube. Everyone moves to Gabba, then buy it all, then switch it all back again to where it was. Same with Nike, do some crazy shit, let the stock plummet. Same with this Elon Musk. That stock has dropped like crazy amounts. For Elon Musk, for what?
I don't know to some extent. I mean,
Everyone's going to go over
because
to Joe
I do
Rogan and not CNN now.
I do wonder about the whole Nike thing
Joe
because
Rogan's
it's like
numbers are going to go through the roof.
I don't know, they've been
Joe
declining.
Rogan's going to be your, like, think how many people, and Joe Rogan is already just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
But he's
Think
not
people have
though.
not heard of
His
Joe
numbers
Rogan
have
now.
been dropping off actually. They haven't been doing what they used to do, especially since Alex Jones started kind of calling him out. And they've apparently made up from things, but it's far bigger.
I don't think Joe Rogan can have him on. I agree, because what's going to happen if, apparently Alex Jones went on Owen Schroyer's podcast because that's the only one that didn't get pulled.
Yeah,
And as soon as Owen started interviewing him, they got pulled live.
yeah,
So Joe Rogan's not going to. He's just going to get pulled. I
yeah,
think Joe's right.
yeah. No, he is right about that.
I didn't agree with Joe at first, but now I get it.
Yeah, and that's
Joe does a live podcast on YouTube, Alex Jones. It's just going to go 3 seconds, strike.
yeah,
Because they've got his voice on some kind of computer that just picks it
Yeah.
up. You just hear, right, done.
yeah. Yeah, the algorithms do work like that. I've gotten strikes where they've said, we detect someone's voice, they're represented by this agency, this and that. I mean, the AI sort of algorithms that do the audio detection stuff for YouTube are beyond people's imaginations.
I mean, what happens, like, what sort of country am I in, man? London, it's been stabbing, it's carnage. Every day is someone who's Asian, we'll say,
Yeah,
waving a knife around, stabbing 3 or 4 people. And you get 3 of those a day. Every day. Say about 3 a day, every single day. And I post on my Facebook all the time. People are like, oh, stop doing it, stop doing it. It's like, this is crazy.
yeah, they just
You
don't
can't
want to
go to
know.
London, you can't go.
And it's like, I just wonder, it's like, what do these people think they're getting in return? Diversity? Like the
Well,
ability
no,
to
I know
virtue
what's
signal?
coming because the police are just going to get this giant budget and they're going to be armed to the teeth, but they're not going to be defending you guys.
Yeah,
They're just going to be defending the rich areas.
yeah,
And I don't know how we're going to, because England's so diverse, how do we bring in a gun law? I agree, we can't. Because a lot of people aren't British. I don't want foreigners having guns, to be honest with you. I don't.
Yeah.
That scares the shit out of me. So we can't have a discussion. Because I always thought about, should we have a discussion about gun control in England? How do we distribute guns when we don't have a culture anymore? We don't have Britain anymore. It doesn't really.
Well, and especially when you see the articles about all the fucking thousands of returning ISIS fighters and everything like that, the last thing you want to be doing is arming them.
Can't defend yourself in England.
Yeah.
Full stop.
I mean, I remember even at one point when there were riots breaking out
If you
in
look
some
at
area
Paris,
of England.
Paris isn't that far. Like, we're connected by the Eurostar, man.
Mhm.
You're there in an hour. You can just jump on a ferry. Look at Paris, man. Look at it. It's not far.
Yeah.
It's the next city. It's a city away.
And it's, I've seen videos of just like homeless people laying out in the streets of Paris.
Yeah.
It looks
And
like,
everyone's like, Paul, why are you so negative? Why are you so negative? It's like, because I'm terrified, dude. And we don't have anyone capable of forming a resistance.
yeah.
We don't have any common ground between us. Like, look at people like I'm trying to be friends with. We can't find any common. How are we going to form? We're going to submit, and that's why Islam's here, because it's all about submission.
Yeah.
It's all about, oh God, Islam's going to love it. They're not going to mind too much.
Well, no, especially not when they're going to be at the top of the sort of pecking order.
And especially when you see the police protecting them under political correctness, they're going to go, yeah, we want a bigger police state because we get the protection
Yeah.
to run, like, to turn the town into Mad Max.
I mean, you're basically just going to end up having, like, grooming gangs everywhere with blasphemy laws preventing you from speaking out against it. And the British women will just be a sacrifice to diversity. It really is kind of dystopic. Speaking of, as a side note, I want to bring it up with the environmentalist thing before. It really bothers me, and it's probably partially because I work at a juice bar, so again, the type of customers we're having. But this
You get lots of Jews.
No. We get these people now, like the anti-straw thing. Supposedly this is the new big environmental cause where it's don't use straws anymore because, they make up a inconsequential amount of the landfills. But, if someone sees you drinking a drink without a straw in it, they know how woke you are. And it's like, that shit bothers me, where it's like, you're smug, you think you're doing something that's going to save the fucking world, and the only reason you're doing it is so people can see you drinking a drink, getting this green juice sludge all over your face, and they'll know you must be so woke.
Everywhere I look, we're being programmed to destruction. I mean, even down to a fucking straw.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that bothers me.
It's like alien control. Like, you can't go on TV, can't go on YouTube, can't go on Facebook, can't even put a straw in your drink. You can't ask for a gingerbread man anymore. You can't have a black coffee. Can't go for a Chinese meal.
It's crazy. Yeah, Chinese food is racist. The whole bit. Yeah, they just want to make these people like neurotic so that they don't do anything.
How are you gonna have a kid in this? If you had to bring up a kid, Jamie, what advice do you have?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know, Jamie? Like, it's your kid. You're full of advice.
Mm-hmm.
Old wise Jamie, got your kid on your lap. What advice do you have for him as he starts his journey into the world?
Get off the grid. Hide in the woods. That would be my advice.
You want your kid to run off and hide in the woods?
Learn how to live in nature. Build a fire. I mean, that's what I think is everyone's best bet, that's what Owen Benjamin is doing. That's why he's like, I have land, I have soil, I have my own well and water system.
Yeah, we're not going to have that shit, dude. We're going to have, like, if we're lucky, a council flat on welfare.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
What cartoons can you watch?
Huh?
What cartoons can he watch? Like, you're gonna have to watch everything he's watching, dude. And what cartoons can he watch? Like, it's all gonna be like crazy stuff. Like, you can't watch that. Why, Dad? I can't. Like, kids, I'm saying, like, and parenting is completely
You know what
different.
I
Like, I
actually
was so
heard?
spoiled, man.
You know what's funny? You saying the thing about people being communists. What was I watching the other day? I was watching someone where they were talking about how the creator of SpongeBob SquarePants admitted that he would put communist messaging into the show. Like, so I mean, this.
Whenever I see mums pushing prams, they're on the phone. Like, I was so sheltered. My mum just constantly kept me entertained when I was
Mhm.
in that little pram. Always, she's always like looking at me, like keeping me entertained. It just, I think it's so, like, how many mums do you see on their phones just pushing this? It's like that's your kid in that pram. Shouldn't you
Yeah.
like at least be paying attention?
Yeah, it's
It
weird.
terrifies me because I want to have a kid, and it's like these women are crazy,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna have a crazy kid. You can't be. I don't know if I'm just. I don't know if I was just brought up sheltered, but my mum like really did pay attention. Like if she walked into the road, she would walk in first
Mhm.
all the time. Even if there's, and we lived in like the middle of nowhere, and she did that. But you just see mum just pushing the pram into people and stuff like literally pushing it into people. And
Wow.
it's like your kids in that, man. What are you doing? Give them like a smooth ride, bitch.
Yeah, I don't
Supposed to
know.
be like singing songs and stuff like,
Although,
pointing out trees. Like my mum would be doing that, like, oh, look at that, like,
you know
boo-boo,
what?
yeah,
You know it is funny
look
though.
at
I
this, look
saw
at
another
that. Look, there's
article.
a bus. You know,
I saw
bit of
another.
interaction, man. There's no interaction. Your interaction's gone. And you think that we have, Elon Musk is right. We've already merged with machines. Kids cannot
Yeah,
put their phone down.
yeah, no, he is right about that. Um, what was I gonna say?
You're just gonna give me some good news how I'm wrong, and we'll be
Oh,
alright.
well, I was gonna
All
say
fine,
no.
man.
There's a another article. This one I think was in Forbes or Business Insider about how the younger generation in high school now is the most conservative generation ever, and how it's a problem for Democrats. I said this to a socialist, and you know what he said? Yeah, but I'm not a Democrat. I'm a socialist. And all I can think is, I'm like, yeah, you're further left than the Democrats. If it's a problem for them, it should terrify you that your fantasy revolution you're having in your head is not going to happen. I mean, it's not going to happen unless if somehow there's this giant purge. I mean, that's the thing is I think they're trying to purge these people to sort of try to nip the influence of people like Alex Jones and Paul Joseph Watson and Mike Cernovich and stuff in the
No, but
butt.
it's worse here because we've already, let's just face it, guys. England aren't the most attractive people. Already, we're not got good stuff to work with. And then all the women just look like men over here now.
Hmm.
Can't look just stinky feminist tattooed women. It's just horrible. And like,
Yeah.
we don't have a good platform to begin with.
Hmm. Well, and plus it's like, I mean, granted, like you said, France is only like an hour away, but you are on an island, and that kind of,
We're
I
pretty connected. We've got ferries going back and forth all day, every day. And like, do you honestly think people are risking their lives keeping the border safe? No, they're just letting people free, man.
yeah.
And you've got the Eurostar. It's not
I
hard to get in.
I was gonna say at one point what they did. I think it was there's something going on with the population in Brazil declining and people not like reproducing enough and stuff like that. So I think America and maybe like some European countries just ended up sending down like a bunch of beautiful people to go procreate, and that's why like Brazilian women now have this sort of exotic, kind of European esque, but kind of Latin, kind of sexiness thing. Like they're just known for beautiful Brazilian women, but it was almost like a eugenics project to like keep
Yeah,
their race going and stuff. You'd always have that happen with England. That did just remind me real quick.
It's not the race thing that bothers me. It's the ideology of crazy people.
Yeah.
And just low IQ people when England's already struggling.
Well, and that's the other thing too. Is like, I'm sure a lot of these like
England was the coolest place on the planet, man. I'm telling you.
I'm sure a lot of these crazy feminist types you're talking about too could be attractive, but it's the way they carry themselves and their attitudes that make them so.
I honestly believe, bottom of my heart, London used to be the best city in the world. 2 decades running at least.
I mean, I know for a while.
The millennium, easy.
I can even say for myself, like for a while, like it was up there as far as people being like, oh, I'd like to visit, Hollywood or New York City or London or
yeah,
Tokyo.
London likes America. No offense, but London's just so much cooler than America.
And well, I mean, I don't think you can compare a city to a country. But I mean,
Yeah,
if you were to want to
but
say
now-
it's cooler than New York City,
Yeah. But now, like, London's like,
yeah. I mean, that's the
Not
thing.
so
I
great.
used to think like, oh, I'd like to go over to England and check it out and see it and everything like that. And now all I think is like, oh, if I went there, I'd like to go hang out with Paul and get some fish and chips. Like that's that's about it. Like, I mean, other than that, it's like because I just feel like I'm going to be taking in like sites of decay and wondering what was this before. Everything kind of fell apart. I mean, I'd feel the same if I went to Chicago or Detroit, though, in, the States. I'd be like, oh, I wonder what this was like when it was actually booming and there was an economy here. Even my own city is like that. Poughkeepsie, we used to be very big in manufacturing things and, everything like that. We're the last stop on the train that goes from the city up to this area. And we used to produce a lot of things. We had an IBM factory here, and that kind of fed the whole local economy and everything like that. Once that slowed down, it just sucked all the money out of this area. Now what they do is they build apartments for people who work in New York City who want to commute. So the prices for the housing are New York City prices, thinking everyone commutes. So all it does, it makes it too expensive for the people who actually live here to live here. It's weird because it's like this.
same pattern you see in London, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
In England, yeah.
Where there's probably areas on the outskirts of London where the jobs don't pay the same as they would in London, and they just are marketing the real estate to the people who want to come into London to work but not actually live there, and the people that were in these areas end up being priced out.
But yeah, talking of trip, if I do, like, I don't know what this job's about. Like, it seems pretty casual for now. If I manage to keep it going for 2 months, you should come down to Europe and celebrate with me. Because that'd be like quite a big deal for me. See if I can behave for like 2 months.
Yeah,
Actually prove to a company I'm worth keeping on for good money.
I should I know with
Because
school
I
being
know
back
I
in.
want to do Amsterdam. Amsterdam's looking pretty good at the moment.
I was gonna say with
It'll be
school
fine.
being
You can
back
come
in.
back to mine.
I know my one job, I have a coworker there now who could probably cover for me, so I might be able to take like a week off or so. At some
Yeah,
point.
weekly. Yeah, it's in Amsterdam, 3 days in England or something.
Mhm.
Should be cool. You got any advice for my first day?
Huh? For your first day?
Yeah, I need what advice?
Don't talk politics.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
It's a pretty quiet office. It looks dead quiet.
that's good.
What
I'd
should I
say
talk about?
football.
Football.
I don't know. Music. Talk about music.
Talk about. Talk about weather. We talk about the weather a lot here.
Uh-huh. I
Like
tend,
how? Like no, but yeah, it's gonna be like weird. First day.
I tend to think weather is the casual small talk that people really talk about anywhere. But anyway, let's wrap this up. I got
Yeah, man.
some stuff I gotta get to, and I'm gonna check out that Streamlabs site.
Put a
once I'm done
hashtag
here.
pray for Paul. I need all the help I can get. Man.
Okay, I will.
'Cause imagine if I do well, that'd be perfect for me. Like earning a good amount of money just to walk down the road and something quite simple.
Yeah.
It's only I can really fuck it up.
Well, that's always a nice feeling to know. Like, I feel like that even at my one job, where I'm sure there are ways I could, because we have to comply with all sorts of New York State medical stuff. But I at least know in the eyes of my bosses, they love me, so there isn't anything really I could do there that wouldn't be like illegal that they wouldn't have my back on.
Yeah.
But
All right.
all right,
Do it,
man. Well, I'll talk to you throughout the week, and we'll do it again
Yeah,
next
man.
weekend.
Sorry, it was a slow week, but sometimes it's just good to catch up, man.
Yeah, it's all good.
Slow week.
All right, take
And
care.
it just always happens. Like shit will kick off. I always notice whenever we finish a podcast, something crazy happens. Like,
Yeah, it's true. Watch a something end up with a suicide bomber or something, or like last week with that shooting that went on right after we finished at the
it
video
always
game
happens,
thing.
man.
But all right, I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, see
All
you,
right,
man.
take care.